Kia ora koutou, no mai haere mai, and welcome to Frogs on Friday. Kia pai te wiki o te reo Māori. Happy Māori Language Week. And today in Mahi Media, we'll be giving you some tips to encourage te reo in the workplace. We'll go through our hot jobs as usual, and I'm joined by Peter Crestani from our Wellington team to talk about the importance of onboarding and how to get that right, or what not to do as well. And as always, we'll finish off with our social media polls. So let's jump straight into Mahi Media. All right, so Māori Language Week celebrates Te Reo Māori being declared an official language of New Zealand and encourages all to speak the language proudly, or even just to give it a go if it's something that you're less comfortable with or confident. A 2021 Colmar Brunton poll told us that a whopping 80% of New Zealanders saw Te Reo as a part of our national identity. And Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori is a reminder of the past, and perhaps in times when it definitely wasn't celebrated, but also a way for us to promote this going forward and to improve our own understanding. So I wanted to share some tips to embrace Māori language within the workplace, but even better, I didn't have to do it all myself. Some of the team have prepared a short video with some simple ways to incorporate te reo into your mahi and your life.
Kia ora. My name is Manish Ravikumar, and I am a permanent and contract services recruitment consultant at FrogRecruitment. This week across Aotearoa, we are celebrating Māori Language Week. In 2023, Māori Language Week is running from the 11th to the 17th of September and follows the similar theme from last year of Kia kaha te reo Māori, make the language stronger. I know here at FrogRecruitment, we try to incorporate the Māori language into a lot of our daily communication and in and around the office, and encourage our people to give it a try. So today we wanted to keep doing that, but we wanted to jump on here and share some basic greetings and ways to introduce yourself in te reo. To help me with this, we are joined by FrogRecruitment's Jack Loader from our Wellington office. Kia ora, thank you for joining us today, Jack. Before we jump into it, would you be able to explain to us the significance and the importance of celebrating Māori Language Week?
Yeah, kia ora Manish, thanks for that. Personally, living in Aotearoa, I think it's very important to celebrate Māori Language Week, to acknowledge te reo, and ensure that te reo is passed on, learnt, spoken, and essentially continued. And in terms of the workplace of late, I think there's been more value placed on the importance of te reo, which is really awesome to see.
Certainly. When I first moved to the country about 8-9 years ago, I was quite ignorant and I was unaware that there was another beautiful language being spoken in New Zealand. Because a lot of people didn't use it. You didn't hear it in a lot of places. But now a lot more people are beginning to speak it and use te reo in their lives, which is amazing to see. So what are some of the ways we can do to incorporate te reo into our everyday lives, Jack?
Well, a good place to start, I think, would be with some basic greetings that you can use anytime in the workplace, at home, out and about in public. And a few of those are just popping up on the screen here now. So we obviously have morena and ata marie, which are both forms of good morning. We have pō marie, which is good night. Kia ora, a common one around. And haere rā, goodbye. And ka kite anō, which is I'll see you again. And you can also say ka kite, see you, or ka kite a popo, see you tomorrow. So those are some cool greetings that you can use anytime. And you can also incorporate introducing yourself in Māori as well, which is just coming up here now. So if I was introducing myself, I might say kia ora, ko Jack, tōku ingoa. And that was how I would introduce myself and go about it that way. So those are just some quick and easy ways that you can celebrate and incorporate te reo Māori, not only throughout Māori Language Week, but into your everyday life.
Most certainly. I certainly will be using some of these tips, Jack, to incorporate te reo into my everyday life. Thank you for giving us these pointers. Te reo being a very distinct and beautiful sounding language, I certainly would like for it to be heard a lot more, used a lot more by people in the workplace and elsewhere. For more resources to continue celebrating this week, make sure you visit Frog Recruitment's channel and check out Māori Language Week. We have a playlist featuring some of our consultants' favorite songs in te reo. Ka kite ano, haere.
Ka pai, boys. It was very good. Another tip from me is really to look at it in building up in small steps and to think of the benefits of using te reo in the workplace. So some people might be a bit afraid to give it a go in case they make mistakes, but it's all good if you just having a go. And others might be the other extreme and want to jump straight in without knowing enough about it. But I guess even if you only learn one new phrase or commit to pronouncing a word correctly, it's still a step in the right direction. And you can build on your te reo day by day and year by year. For our Te Wiki moment this year, we ran a lunch and learn session for the team, just covering some basics in pronunciation to help them out day to day. And then we also chose some of the clients with te reo names, for example, Te Whatuora or Kāingaora, and learnt about some of the stories of how their names were gifted and the meaning of those names and how to pronounce correctly, which definitely helps to give some context and to make sure we get it right going forward. So kia kaha te reo Māori. Okay, let's have a look at some of the hot jobs this week. All right, so first up we have a night manager. So this role's here in Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau, paying $29 per hour plus the usual holiday pay for these hourly rates. So this one, it's looking after general security around the building and premises. Might be things like monitoring CCTV. So we're looking for people with experience in this area and who are looking for that night shift work as well. If you're interested or know someone who is, get in touch with Shav Neil in our Auckland office. Okay, and I'm going to pass over to Peter for this one, as it's based in Wellington, Te Whanganui Atara, to tell you more about the Senior Policy Advisor role.
Kia ora, and thank you for having me, Shannon. This is, we've actually got a number of these roles. It's a large government agency looking for a strong senior policy, central government, have come through the regulatory and perhaps economic pathways, looking for really good people skills. That I think there's about 3 or 4 different areas we're working with at the moment for these roles. Really good managers, good work environment, great teams. So if you're interested, get a hold of Caroline, send her an email, give her a call, or talk to Dom, Jack, or Zaf about it. So we'd love to hear from you if you're interested.
Excellent. And let's have a look a bit further afield and see what the Aussies and UK have for us as well. Okay, so it looks like the UK team have a paralegal in construction. This one's a permanent position. So as I say, each week it's always great to see the variety of roles that they have coming through, only having been established in the last year or so. So up and running. If you are looking to make the move to the UK, feel free to get in touch with the team there. They're bound to have something that you may be interested in. And let's go over to the Australian job of the week.
Hi, Demi here from People to People Recruitment. We are recruiting for a temporary assistant accountant to become a valuable addition to our clients' Inner West team. Join our dynamic client within their innovative team and play a part in the achievements of a prominent organisation specialising in organic and natural products here in Australia. With a rich history spanning several decades, they cater to various retail outlets, both local and global, across multiple regions also. This role is initially a 5-week temporary role with the view to go temporary to permanent. It is required to be in the office 5 days per week. There is on-site parking also provided. In this role, you'll report to the financial controller and play a pivotal role in their finance team. You'll focus on accounts payable, debt collections, bank reconciliations, and weekly reportings. Key responsibilities are, but not limited to, daily bank reconciliations, debt reports, credit control, cash and cheque payments, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and account inquiries. To be considered for this role, you should have 2 years experience in accounts receivable, debt collections, or accounts payable. A background in the food industry is a bonus. Strong problem-solving skills are always a must. And excellent communication, negotiation, and PC skills. SAP or similar systems experiences are an advantage. Should you be interested in this role, please contact me on 0282 709 787 or email me on demi@peopletopeople.com.au for a confidential conversation. Thank you.
Hello, Peter.
Good afternoon from Wellington. I'd like to say it's a nice fine day, but it's not. It's a bit cold and a bit wet and drizzly.
Well, we can't really rival you here. If you'd asked me 10 minutes ago, I could have topped you, but now the rain has well and truly come in, so we can't beat you there today. Now, onboarding. So you're going to go through some of the mistakes. I guess what's the importance of a good onboarding experience before we jump into that?
Well, yeah, we did a poll, and there are 3 major areas that job seekers are looking for or see that there are problems. The first is when there's no orientation, so there's no comprehensive package to bring people on to go through the basics and things like the company culture, the team, the procedures, specifics of the job, and lack of clarity in these areas makes quite a difference to the people coming into a new organisation. The other one that was highlighted was lack of clear communication, and that can lead to misunderstandings and frustration. So people don't really know what's expected of them. They don't understand the timelines, the goals, what they're supposed to do, and also don't have regular check-ins or channels of communication, so they don't know who to talk to about what. Another issue that came up was around rushing the process, and I think this is the other extreme of not doing enough. It's actually doing too much, making it too overwhelming and expecting people to remember everything when it's crammed into a very short period of time. So if you are going to really ensure that your people are coming on board well, it's a balance of giving them information, giving them time to digest it. But if you are going to cram in a lot, it's about having a library of information so they can go back and go, oh, I was told about this and what happened there. Oh, I could have a look at that. And Interesting today, I had a coffee with a colleague and a candidate we just placed into a government agency, and he brought up this very topic, and it was a very simple thing, and I thought it was really fascinating because he accepted the job, and he said he still wasn't sure when he'd accepted, but then the hiring manager sent him a lovely email giving him some ideas about what's going to happen, welcoming into the team, and as soon as he got that, he goes, "Oh, that's great. I feel at home now," even though he hadn't even started. If she hadn't have sent that email, his very first experience would have been quite different. So I think making sure that between getting a contract signed for a new employee and bringing them on board is an important time to start building that relationship and setting the tone of what it's going to be like for that new employee. So to encapsulate, it's making sure you've got a well thought out plan, make sure it's personalised, don't do too much, make sure there's clear comms, get them to really understand the culture, that's probably going to, and their teammates, get them into that social side of the business, I think is really important to make them feel comfortable. So that if they're not sure about something, they can go, "Oh, Anne, can you tell me about this?" Because they've already met Anne and they might have had a coffee with the team or something like that. So they're the basic parameters.
Absolutely, and sometimes those things that can seem quite little. So in that case, just an email welcoming them again, and they'd probably already said at the time when they made the offer as well. But just that extra little touch and setting them at ease and perhaps setting some expectations can make all the difference to the employee's experience.
Yes.
And I think that's really important, particularly in this kind of market where I'm sure you'll agree with me, Peter. It's pretty hard work finding some, the right talent and creating that good synergy and win-win situation between what the candidate's looking for and what the employer is, and making sure it's the right cultural fit as well. So all that work coming into it and through the process. So you don't want it falling down and thinking, "Oh, great, the contract's signed, that's everything done." When those, particularly those first few months, can make a real difference. And I think in our poll today, it'll be interesting to see some of the results of when that onboarding experience hasn't been ideal, and what kind of impact that can have further down the track. So some great tips for what to do and what not to do there. And I guess just a timely reminder that it's all very important.
Yeah, very
Thank
much
you.
so. Okay, thank you.
And let's move over and have a look at the polls from last week. Okay, so we were talking about AI, and I had a quick look at the results from this one, and I was pretty shocked actually to see that huge result. So we asked, how much do you rely on automation or AI in your current job? And it was a whopping 83% said no, don't use it at all. In reality, I'm sure there's lots of parts of everybody's roles that are actually automated, but you don't really think of it as such, or if it's not a specific, say, AI or chatbot, you think of it differently. But there's lots of little time savers that are kind of built into our everyday work. But yeah, it was really interesting to see those results. And perhaps there's opportunity there for people to bring some efficiencies into their work by trying it out and having a look at what automation or AI could perhaps help them in their roles and speed up some time. Okay, let's have a look at this week's question. So, talking about onboarding, we're asking if you have had a bad onboarding experience, and did that have a massive impact in leading to you resigning soon after. So, hopefully, I'm hoping it's not there's not going to be too many of you out there who have had those experiences. I'll be interested to see some of the comments coming through if you have, but hopefully, most of the time, your employers are doing a good job on that. but we'll wait and see. So that is it for today's show. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Mā te wā.